Welcome to the first webinar presentation regarding knowledge and the portal. My name is Aidan Ash and I work for the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage. I'm going to be presenting today about the new IT system that has been built to assist with information around Aboriginal cultural heritage and assist with the preservation and conservation and management, especially of the information in regards to Aboriginal cultural heritage and other processes and applications that may go in assisting in that preservation and protection. Today we're going to be looking at applying for a permit and give you an overview of the types of information that will be in the portal from the 1st of July. I acknowledge that I am on Whadjuk country today presenting, and also acknowledge Aboriginal people and groups around the state of Western Australia. So when a user comes to the portal, they'll come to a page where they'll verify their identity and create a login, and that verification will be either through Google or Facebook or MyGovID. Once an account has been created, they'll come to this home page, which will give an overview of their past submissions or applications, whether that's submitting information about Aboriginal cultural heritage, uh, permits, management plans, reporting harm, requests for advice. Those past correspondences or applications will be viewable in this screen here. So today we're going to be looking at submitting a permit notice. So you come to here and press continue. There'll be a fee of $100 associated with at the application stage. So here the applicant will put in the details of their activity. They'll include the area that activity is going to occur and the details of what that activity is. The due diligence process would have happened before this stage, and that due diligence process would have identified what activity is going to occur and if that activity fits in with one of the listed activities that can be those lists can be obtained from guidance material around the due diligence process. So I suppose, yeah, to come to this stage in the permit stage, it would have been a tier 2 activity. It's going to interact or potentially harm Aboriginal cultural heritage. Also through that due diligence process, the notice recipients would have been identified and established as well. So that would be if it's a LARCS, the LARCS for that area. If there is no LARCS, it would be the relevant Aboriginal Native title body and other relevant knowledge holders. So the applicant would submit their notice externally to the system, and once that's undertaken, the applicant would enter these details into the portal. So for each recipient, you'd add a recipient in this pop-up box and fill in the details. And once you've entered in all your recipients that you provided the notice to, you'd be able to start that timer. And this is really a user control or portal user controlled timer, and it's just a guide to assist with those statutory timeframes for the period of response. So it's showing that the summary of the notice before you submit it, and a quick declaration, and submitting as final. So that completes the notice stage, and you'd have a case number here. I must note that we've stitched this presentation together a bit, so the case number is different. When you submit a permit notice and an application, that case number will be the same all the way through. So in summary, for the notice stage of submitting a permit, you would have done your due diligence, identified the relevant Aboriginal parties, identified that you are going to cause harm, identified that it is a tier 2 activity. You provided the notice. It starts the 28-day period to receive responses in regards to the notice. You then submit that notice through to the portal. You collect the feedback from the recipients, and also the DPLH would set the status of your notice to application. At this stage, you'll be ready to continue the permit application. So here, back in your portal, the home screen, you'd be able to see your permit submission, and it's back in your draft application, so it's ready to be edited again and ready for the application stage. So when you go into your permit application, it'll give you a summary of the notice details. If the boundary has changed, you'd need to contact the DPLH to be able to amend that boundary, because otherwise the assumption is that that boundary will be the same as it's in the notice. You'd enter some information about the due diligence process that occurred. And at this stage, where the applicant is going to be providing details about the ACH, that the activities are going to interact within this area. So adding ACH to the application can be done through two ways through the portal. One is the boundary search, which we just saw happen in the mapping system. And those will be listed here. The other way is to manually add them through the add ACH. And that may be used for when an ACH submission is not on the directory at that point. And also a flag to to flag whether the boundary has been amended or not. So here are the details that the proponent is going to enter about how they're going to manage minimizing or avoiding the ACH that's within that area associated with the activity. So you go into each ACH and you detail what your plan is to mitigate that risk. Once you've entered in all those details, you come to the last stages, and that's uploading any relevant supporting documents or attachments that is associated with the applications. That might be information that you provided to the relevant Aboriginal parties, might be photos of the activity that's planned to occur, any reports that are relevant. And again, before you submit the application, this is a summary of the information that's been entered in. And that's the completion of the application. So once your application is submitted, the department will process the application, and they'll send that information out to the notified Aboriginal parties for those Aboriginal parties to comment, and which starts another 28-day period. Once that feedback's received, there'll be a time to make a decision on the permit, and assuming it gets to the determined stage, that'll be shown in your home page here in the determined applications. If at any stage you need to make a comment to the department about an application, you can use the comment field as shown here. And you can also attach a file as well. So if an officer has a query about something or to verify information, they can also send that comment back to the applicant. So the system is going to be very useful in facilitating that back and forth communication. The department can also move this information out to Aboriginal parties as well if they have a portal account. So when the application comes in, the department can move the application submission to the relevant Aboriginal parties through the portal as well. So thank you very much for listening to this presentation and getting an idea of what's in the portal. We've got other topics planned in the future, so watch this space, and we really value your feedback as well. Thank you very much.